Does he know he's streaming? Fuck yeah, he knows he's streaming. Set this up for the last 26 million hours. Of course I know I'm streaming. Get your sets out in the chat, boys. Oh, Reba. So we're going to be opening 7-5 suited because we're on a table of bitches. Yes, we've got him, boys. We've got him now. Damn, he's played back against our 7-5 suited. Guys, shh, type shh in the chat. Look at him, your little paws. They say cats, they just want to be fed and then left alone. But this little munchkin, she wants to be around me all the time. And I think because animals work through pure association and instinct, that's a good sign. It's a good sign that she associates me with love and warmth and compassion. Man, so poker's been happening, huh? How did you guys do in the Corona times? Did you get that little bit of extra Corona poker money? I managed to play the scoop, and somehow W Coup's already happened. I guess we've just been indoors for 6 months. That's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I didn't play a single W Coup tournament. I didn't even play the main. Mental. You know what was happening in the main? I was like considering playing it, and then I like fell in love with a girl, and she fell in love back. She flew over to England, and we had the most magical 5 days that you could possibly imagine. And then on the last day, I learned a very sobering lesson of be careful who you fall for, because sometimes, man, they just, as soon as you get to that like inner nougaty center of their vulnerability, they lash out. And she lashed out really hard, non-intentionally, with intense delusion, and hurt me in such a deep way. And I really do believe it was like the best lesson I could have possibly had. It showed me my strengths, it showed me my weaknesses, and it gave me a fucking beautiful experience. But yeah, I was gonna play some W Coup, but I guess that's off. Alright, let's do some poker. Gonna meditate beforehand. I am lucky, I am skillful, and I will win. You gotta feel it. Feel it with me, guys. Alright, it's been a while since I played some poker. You're gonna have to bear with me. Using that right click fold. So we're gonna aim for probably like a few buy-ins by the end of the session. It's good to have some small aims. We're also going to be aiming to play well, I guess. But more importantly, we're here to make money. My name is Carl, still on the streets. I used to battle him 5 years ago on 500 Zoom. So if he's not the best player in the world at this stuff by now, I don't know what's going on. I know he's a very talented person. So we're happy to get kings in. It's going to be a very good test of our energy. Well, I'd say that's pretty fucking good. And hope. Nice. And hope. Hope. Nice. Alright, $200. Should we just call it a day? $200 is like a good amount of money for a day's work, right? My name is Carl. Been playing these for so long, and he's still... Oh, wait, I've got no delay? My name is Carl. Didn't see that I didn't have a delay. Okay, I guess I fold these threes. I like to practice what I preach, and I really do. I do preach to play exploitable, intuitive poker. And it just works out, and the universe is on your team. Alright, how many people were telling me? Thank you for everyone. No delay. Yeah, thanks, Harvard. Hi, Charlie. To grow a bankroll from €100, thinks better to focus on cash games online or MTT. Well, sir, it depends on what your goals are. If your goals are to get good at poker, I would suggest you focus on cash games and Zoom or whatever the equivalent is. If you want to make money quickly, then I guess MTTs or St. Goes is the one. If you have good advice to poker play, battle with anxiety and anger at poker tables, yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully I do. But my advice would be understand where your anger comes from. and understand where your anxiety comes from. Poker, if you want it to be, can be a completely psychologically transformative experience, emotionally and spiritually too. And your anger will come from somewhere. You know, maybe it's when people bad bet you, or maybe it's when people 3-bet you too much, and perhaps that comes from being bullied at school. Perhaps that comes from, you know, you getting really bad grades in school or something like that. There's so many unique idiosyncrasies that come from that kind of are elaborated on or elucidated in or magnified when you're playing poker, that if you pay attention to those things and you try and unravel them as they come up, you'll come out on the other side of poker not only a way better poker player in control of your emotions, but just also a way better person. And you'll become the best version of you that you can be. And I really believe that after poker, you know, there'll be people that play poker 20 years and they'll be like, well, now what do I want to do? If they haven't been paying attention to that mental and emotional mindset, they'll just be like, oh, I'm not really any different to how I was before. And you see that a lot in the high stakes. And I'm obviously not going to name any names, but you get people that they've kind of just plateaued as human beings. You know, they're still kind of the same people that they were 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And there's not that level of maturity that has come through age, because what they've been doing is making money and playing a game instead of using that game and that experience to kind of highlight things about themselves and learn. But yeah, I don't like using the words conspiracy. I think that it's been too heavily connotated, and I'm not a big fan, honestly, of sitting and conspiracizing. But I am a seeker of truth, and I do have access to truth and knowledge that perhaps most people don't, just through my fortunate runnings with certain people and perhaps some metaphysical element. And personally, I'm not saying it's true, but personally, I'm above 99% that this was a pre-planned pandemic. And I am also pretty damn certain that we should not be indoors right now. And the hundreds of millions of people whose lives are going to be obliterated from the economic downfall post-COVID, hopefully will serve at least as a good lesson to the rest of us that maybe we shouldn't let the media dictate that only one side of the argument can be the compassionate side. And that would be like the best thing you can possibly do. It would be to turn yourself into a person that can have divisive or supposedly divisive arguments, conversations, or dialectics, and transpose and transmogrify them into something where everyone is being kind, interpreting the other people's statements in a charitable way, and loving even when you disagree. Because I really see there's just like this huge tearing down the middle of society, being ripped apart, and it's not going to do anybody any good. So whether somebody's right about supporting Trump or not, whether somebody's right about COVID or not, or whether somebody's right about homelessness or not, at the end of the day, as long as we can keep our society together and just like genuinely coming from a good place when we're talking, we'll figure it out eventually. But at the moment, because there's just one person on one side yelling at the other person on the other side who's also yelling, society's just lost the ability to progress. You know, if we can't agree on the simplest things, then we're fucked. I am lucky. I am skillful. I will win. Let's do this, boys. Assuming recreational, based on the min raise and from Slovenia, but I won't label it just yet. We'll see what happens. So I'll go a bit smaller than I would against a professional. What do you guys think about the new layout, by the way? Is there anything you would change? Muted? I don't think so. My instant reaction is to check here, so I'll check. Deeper really sucks if we get raised. And check call is just kind of a nice one. looking like we're ace king a lot of the time. Alright. So, there's not too much king x. He can have ace king and king queen. King 10 probably bets itself. King jack very blocked. Alright, when he checks back again. We're going to be going for the $2 on the river. $2 is better than no dollars, as my mum used to say. Oh no, I did play the WSOP main. Cash for 15k. I played the puntiest hand I've ever played, perhaps in my whole career. It was just such a bad hand, and I knew it was bad as I was playing it. And something about my energy and my mental game was just off at that point in time. And yeah, it was just it was a very humbling and humanizing experience. Gonna be 3-betting queen 10 off it. Bit loose, guys. Probably best not to do it too much. We're gonna be check raising small. We do not want him to fold all his like ace kings, ace queens. So we're going for a very small check raise here. It's a good thing about GTO players. They are somewhat predictable. Obviously, they're not 100% predictable because that's the kind of the point they are balancing. But if you can kind of get in their mindset, then you're laughing. Just go all in. Take some potential fold equity, and if he calls, probably just got aces. Nice. We got him, boys. Still so much money out there to be made, and right. Rats. Especially when you hit jack on the turn, river. Jack. Hold. Hold. Yes, boys. Got to get there in blind versus blind, unfortunately. Man, if I just flatted the 4-bet, GG that pot. Played it perfectly. There's still so much money to be made, and you don't have to play in the same way as everyone else. And in fact, I would say that the way that I've maintained my prowess at poker, obviously I had to learn the game. I had to play millions and millions and millions and millions of hands. But what I've been doing is I've been trying to fine-tune my intuition. I've been trying to cultivate what it is that can tap into the energy of somebody else, or the energy of a game, or the energy of a different spot, and really come up with the best solutions I can to every single spot. And it's not that I'm sitting there asking PioSolver like, okay, how do you do this? It's that I'm sitting, meditating, working out what things have been blocking me in my life, what things have been stopping me from tapping into my flow state, tapping into my intuition, my guidance, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and been trying to remove those blocks. I've been trying to practice and practice and practice reading people. So it's been going really well. And I believe that the poker world, the poker industry as a whole, because the best players tend to be selected for, first of all, pretty arrogant or competitive, just seems to be the way of poker players, and second of all, very mathematically and intellectually capable. I think that it closes people off, or those kind of people are very closed off to other ways of thinking. And so this is what I'm trying to teach. I'm trying to teach poker in a more holistic way, in an intuitive way. I want to teach people how to tap into their own genius, because we all have it. We all have intuition. Modern science has some theories about where it comes from, but it doesn't really know. But intuition can reach so much deeper than logic, and so much quicker as well. And this is something the chess community knows a lot about. Okay, so we're trying to basically just get value from pocket tens, and I'm tanking to give, so the recreational player is aware, so he has time to recognize there are 2 missed flush draws, and hopefully think something of it. Never mind. But you can't bet big there, because then a queen will just call, and then you're a bit unsure about what he has on the river. And you can value bet the river again if he just calls. If they're playing a 1-minute game, then they are going to be relying on their intuition. They know they have to rely on their intuition. Whereas if they're playing like a, like a 3-hour game or whatever, like classical chess, then suddenly intuition just ain't going to cut it. Like they gotta calculate, they gotta do all of this stuff, and intuition comes into play, and they go back and forth between intuition and logic. But it's a much more of an intellectual game when you have time to think and calculate. But the thing about poker is that there's so many variables, and the game itself is just so complicated because of all the different bet sizes, all of these different things, that please fold. The intuition has to come into play. Who knows if 44.44 is the best size there? Probably not. But there's no way that a computer can tell us what was good and what was bad. But then there's this also kind of like neo-enlightenment stuff, which I don't fully understand, but it's a nice framework to look at the world through, kind of like spiritual progression, enlightenment, stuff like that. Gonna be betting 4 here. Thought as much. Welcome to Vex Mosquito. Welcome to the Mushroom Kingdom, my friend. These are kind of good hands to throw into your whatever they're called. 3-bet bluff range in these spots. We're going all in here for 6 times the pot. If you're 3-betting king queen suited, small blind versus button against a recreational player, you want them to be calling all their queen 10 offs or whatever. So you don't want them to be only calling the kind of better hands. There's so many hands that you might be able to dominate. So you're 3-betting for value. Whereas if you're 3-betting kind of like ace 5 suited, then it might be better to go a bit bigger. Gonna be check raising. If he's not snap folded, probably calling. Well, it's kind of like the best possible turn. So let's keep betting. Nice. How beautiful. 3-bet. I'll take it. Half no stream. Well, it depends how well this goes, because my internet's been so crappy recently that I just didn't feel it was worth it. And I was setting up this stream, all of these things. Damn, hit me with the raise. Gonna be doing that. Gonna be doing that. Got him. It's what some may describe as, oh my god, so fucking boring. How the fuck do people let themselves be dictated on how to play a beautiful game like poker with a fucking game theory optimal approach? Oh my god. I honestly, if I could make $1 million more in my career from playing GTA, I still wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. It would just be soul destroying. I mean, I might do it. $1 million can do a lot of good in the world, but oh my god. And also, I just believe it's the least effective way to learn poker. If you want to get good at poker, I believe it's not the one. Gonna go for a triple barrel here. Actually, we might just be going for a double barrel. I'm not sure. Or we should go for a double barrel. He might just check back like 5-4, which would suck. But I think there's just too many combos of two pairs and like ace 7, ace 4, ace deuce, stuff that will just call. And that is a good sign. That is a very good sign. Regret everything. Oh, he's probably that. It's hard to say these days, isn't it? I got a reg rating system which I'm not going to get into. Going to be 4-ben. Got a bit too small here actually. Probably should have gone like 52. Alright, so he might have ace queen, ace jack. We are going to be going for a c-bet. Might have some king queen suiteds in there. If it ain't spades, probably folding. Don't know how to feel about that. So he should actually be turning some 10x into a bluff here. I don't know if he will. That's the issue. Sometimes people just don't. Question is, does he ever check better? Probably. Probably checks his if he calls ace queen, ace of spades. Jack 10. Ain't gonna be calling a bet. Yeah, sorry. I was playing poker before, as you can see here. We managed to make some. Money on 200 Zoom. But let's give somebody else some love. Let's go host somebody, and I will be back to try to win the bankroll challenge pretty soon. I think I had a good time streaming today, and my energy seems to be right for it.